Just a friendly reminder that the opinions expressed on this show are not worth a Canadian penny, so disregard anything you hear that might get anyone in trouble. And despite some of the great ideas you may hear, don't try them at home. Go to a friend's house instead.
It's time to get a gun. That's what I've been thinking. Well, I could afford one. And if I did just a little less drinking, time to put something between me and the sun. When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.
Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is episode 173 for September 22nd, 2016. I am one of your hosts, Adriel, the hunting gear guy, Michaud.
I'm another one, Trevor Furlot.
And I'm another one, Matthew McClatchy.
And I'm another one, Kelly Lynn. Well done, everybody.
Wow, good take three, Adriel.
We all remembered our names and in the right order.
Yeah. And Adriel had just the right amount. Well, you could say his amount of energy in that intro was what, Matthew?
It was probably perfect.
It was probably perfect.
It was perfect.
Perfectly perfect. Matthew, did you have a perfect week in guns?
It was perfect. You couldn't imagine how perfect it was.
And everything. It was perfect and everything, right, Kelly?
And everything.
Okay.
All right. So is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Perfect. So Trevor and I went to Woodstock
And Muffin.
And well, I was gonna.
Sorry, it's your thing, not my thing.
No, you do it.
Shh, no.
No, I'm done. So Trevor. Okay, actually, you're right, Trevor. So Trevor and Jason and Pat and Sean.
Sean
No.
who? We had a Sean? There was no Sean.
What's his name?
Oh, Stefan.
Stefan. I knew it started with an S.
French 1, French 2, French 3, yeah.
Right, yeah,
The other
Stefan.
French guy.
Stefan, Sean. Look, they even rhyme.
There
Sort
was
of.
Sean.
What?
They start with an S.
They do.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stefan, if you're listening. You probably doesn't listen, though, so it's okay.
I don't think he knows, no.
Probably not. It's fine. Don't worry, but don't listen to episode 173, Stefan, if you're listening. Dang it, too late. Anyhow, Trevor, Stefan, Jason, and Pat all came to Woodstock, and I was already there. Because other reasons that are not important, I was already there. And anyway, there was a match on Sunday at the Woodstock Gun Club there, and it was a lot of fun. They had just finished putting on a black badge course and put together a match as well. And I think we ended up with, 16 shooters?
Yeah, something like that. It was up there anyway. Big shout out to Wayne Burt. He was saying that it was one of the biggest matches they've had in a long time.
Yeah.
And he was very
This is
grateful
the first time they had two squads. They've always ever just shot one squad before.
Well,
so
didn't we have a couple of big ones back when you and I were teaching black badge down there with Owen and Dave?
yeah, but there was never two squads. We only no,
Okay.
because back in those days it was one berm, and
How
so
many
we
of
all
the-
shot
Yeah, really.
How many of the shooters were students?
half
So you guys just show up just to trash the newbies?
basically, and we did.
Man, you guys suck.
Yeah, you guys are terrible. You should practice more.
What is this, like your first match or something?
Oh wait,
It is.
You smell that? That's newbie.
Well, fortunately, they put all of the students on squad one. Well,
Yeah, why is that, Matthew?
I don't know.
Yeah, you know. So, Matthew, do you want to take the new guys? Matthew wasn't even going to go to this match. He's like, I don't think so, Trevor. It's going to rain. And then it's like,
And then I was like, oh, and I've got strep throat. I had strep throat.
and I'm like, grow a pair. Come on.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
basically. And so it's only because I was already there. I had to drop Jewel off at the airport that morning. And so on my way home from Fredericton, I was driving right through Woodstock, so I figured, what the heck, I might as well stay.
If I die, I'll die happy.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll
Things
be
happen.
arranged, yeah. So he's there like 2 minutes, and the match director comes over to him. He's like, "How would you like to take the new guy squad?" He's like, I wouldn't.
No. I was like, I'm here to shoot with Trevor. I'm going to be on Trevor's squad. Oh, but we need another RO. You know, this
That
guy
guy over there, he's an RO.
This guy's an RO. He could go over there. Oh, you're right. He is an RO. And so he sent him over instead of me. So
Totally
it was
thought
great.
It was his idea.
Yeah, it was good. So anyway, it was a fun match.
If you squad all the newbies together, wouldn't your squad be done and just be sitting around half the time waiting for the other guys to get off the stages?
That happened.
Did it happen?
Well, we left a lot sooner than they did.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But actually, they started off on the short stages. They actually did catch up to us.
And also, Adriel, the black badge squad is usually paired up with the black badge instructor.
Yeah.
And they do, well, I can't speak to how they do it, but I know when we take the black badge squad through, everything is to the letter of the law, and everything is done slow, and there's a lot of explaining and teaching going on.
Yeah, very methodical to make sure that nobody screws up and that everybody learns a bunch of stuff. We teach them how to patch and all that other stuff too.
How to call targets, how to question targets when they're called, and yeah. So
we didn't want to get stuck with that. We do that on our own.
No,
Not that we don't mind helping, but they already had an instructor. So, and Mike is a good instructor too. So
absolutely, they were in excellent hands.
Oh, absolutely. Anyway, it was a really good match. It was not as complicated as some of the matches that we're accustomed to, I guess. But I mean, we were expecting that because it was a black badge match, basically. I mean, it was still a legitimate level 2, and there were some definite challenges. I think the only challenge that we didn't really get, there wasn't a whole lot of long distance shooting. There was one stage, I guess, with some long distance shooting. And by long distance, I mean, 10 yards?
Yeah, 10, 12. I mean, we kind of chose to make it long distance based on how we shot it.
Oh, even when we shot that one on its own, it was from that fault line. That one, that's the one I was thinking of. But yeah, and when we incorporated it into the next stage too, there was it was like you said, 10, 12 yards, which isn't that long enough. But the rest of it was basically who can run the fastest and shoot the fastest, is what it kind of ended up being. But it was still a lot of fun. I like those types of matches because I shoot pretty fast and I run pretty fast.
Yeah, it was a pretty good balance. There was some movement. There was some close targets. There were some distance targets. There was some steel. There was some movers.
Yeah, that's true. There was a swinger and there was some steel. That's right.
Low ports, doors to open.
Oh yeah, you love those low ports, don't you?
Oh yeah, I love it when I run by them.
Yeah, you did.
Wait a second.
I was supposed to shoot those guys.
And I put on the backup lights.
Yep. So anyhow, I had a lot of fun, and like I said, Trevor was there too. And Trevor, what were you shooting at this match?
I'll come to it. Don't worry.
Well, we could probably just start transitioning into you now, and so I'm just going to ask you some questions about that, and we'll just sort of transition.
Interview me about my performance.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
How was the match?
The match was good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Okay. And what gun did you shoot?
I shot my Trojan.
Your Trojan. And what is a Trojan exactly? What kind of model?
It's a
gun
single stack 9mm.
Right. And modeling what? Resembling a
single action.
Designed by
STI.
STI. Who copied? Come on. You can do this.
I'm not sure I can wiggle out of this one. I shot in the classic division.
So John Moses Browning.
Who?
John Moses Browning, yeah. Designed the 1911.
Yes, the genius that he was. No.
How'd that genius design work out for you?
Well, let's talk about the very first stage. The very first
stage, the second round.
The second shot. Let's talk about that second shot. What happened when you pressed that trigger the second time?
It went click.
Click. Click. And how many of us burst out laughing?
How many people were there?
Everybody.
The next county started to laugh.
It was pretty funny, but Trevor took it in stride and fixed it, and you did end up winning, right?
Yeah, I did end up winning.
Yeah.
Even though I threw the stage away by dumping a mag into that last target.
Yes, you did, but that's okay. I mean, you had fun doing it. And was it the 1911 design problem?
Nope.
What was the issue there?
So what I did was, as everyone knows, I suffer from a condition called hobbit thumbeth. And these little hobbit thumbs do not allow me to hit the mag catch on most pistols, modern or ancient, like the 1911. So what I've had to do is put extended mag catch buttons on, which kind of sweep back towards my hand so that I can reach with my thumb easier. But in this case, I took it a step further. Dawson Precision makes an extended mag button that takes an extended mag release, which actually extends out away from the frame. So the button or the catch comes out away from the frame, and then the extended button sweeps back towards your hand. Ended up being too extended, and what would happen is when I would bring my support hand to the gun, my palm would smack the button and smack it just enough to let the mag drop a little bit. Not all the way out of the gun, just a little bit. So I take the first shot, and then nothing would happen. It would cycle, and I'd pull the trigger, and the hammer would fall on an empty chamber. So it was just a quick tap rack to solve the problem. And then that was on Sunday. Monday morning, I ordered the regular size magazine release that's threaded for the extended button. So it's essentially now what I was running on my 2011 setup,
which is going to be fine because that's what you're used to, and so you'll do your standard, break the grip, drop the mag, reacquire. I mean, it's not that big a deal. You're pretty good at it.
Yeah. So you're right. I mean, it's just so automatic that I break the grip at the same time I hit the button.
Yeah.
I didn't have to break the grip quite as much with this extended thing on there, but it just wasn't working. I mean, you can't be done, And once we realized it happened twice.
Yep. Once we realized what it was,
it stopped happening.
Yeah.
Because I was a little more careful. So it didn't. After that, I adjusted my grip, and the gun ran flawlessly for the rest of the match.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. No, it worked really well. Yeah. It's too bad you canceled the match this weekend because I would have come over and shot it in the match.
Yeah. Well.
I'll come over the next time. It's not a big deal.
Well, yeah.
Not like the gun's going anywhere. Oh, wait, you're probably going to sell it.
No, I'm not. I got to keep it until at least Lorette goes to Worlds.
Oh, okay.
And
because you might need to borrow it.
Well, yeah, exactly. I was challenged. The gauntlet has been thrown down. Chris Babes, listener to the show. He was on Canadian Reload Radio back in the day for having cops called to his house for his kids playing with water guns out on the street and stuff. And he, production shooter from Ontario that switched over to Classic, and he has challenged me. He says he's going to destroy me. If I stay in Classic, he will destroy me at this year's Nationals. So I asked him to define destroy, and he says anything more than 8% he considers destroyed. So I went back and I looked at our results from SummerSlam, and I looked at our results from Nationals, and if you just look at like total points and time and stuff, he hasn't destroyed me yet. So I know I was shooting standard. He was shooting a little 9mm classic gun, which is a lot harder to shoot than a standard gun. Trust me, because I've shot a button. Wait, no. Yeah. So
Well, you definitely destroyed Paul then.
Well, Paul wasn't open.
Oh, that's right. Paul won. That's right, because he posted on his Facebook page, he says, so I won the match. I came in first, and I wrote right underneath, like seconds later, you also lost.
That's neat.
He's like, what? I'm like, you were the only one. You're first and last.
Aww.
He's a cool guy, though. I enjoyed shooting with him. I've talked to him quite a bit, texted with him and stuff, but I've never actually met him in person, so it was cool to meet him in person. So shout out to Paul.
This was probably my third or fourth time meeting him now. Paul is the Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights field officer coordinator for either New Brunswick or actually all of Atlantic Canada. And he's very active. He's getting more done in the province here as far as getting out and networking than I am. So we're very lucky to have him as part of the CCFR.
Yeah.
As you saw, he had both his hat on and his shirt.
And his shirt, yeah. And we're very thankful that he was wearing his shirt.
Yep.
Just any shirt, really.
Any shirt, yeah. And his grandson was there. His grandson's name is Hunter, which is awesome.
That's cool. Yeah.
Hunter.
And Hunter was out there patching targets.
He's calling the scores. He knew what
he was. Yeah, he was scoring targets for us.
Yeah, he's like 12. He's 12, turning 13. Because I asked, when's he going to get into IPSC? So he's going to start training him on a BB gun and then move his way up to a 22 and so on. Get the commands down and the movement and the safety and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, and he's out there patching targets, and I'm coming over to call them, and he's telling me what they are before I get there.
Yeah, and you're like, you're right.
Yeah, that is an Alpha Charlie. Good for you, Hunter. So anyway, the Woodstock match, it was fun. There was only two of us in Classic, and I won only by, I would have preferred the margin be larger, but I did goof up a couple of stages. So,
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
What was my margin again?
Oh, geez. You were 3% over?
3?
Were you?
Huh? No,
10?
I was like 9 or 10.
9 or 10. And I was like 9 or... No, I was 7 maybe? Yeah, I was 7 and you were 9.
Okay, so I destroyed somebody, but you didn't.
Correct.
According to Chris.
Chris Babe standards.
Right.
I did not destroy my opponent.
Just making sure that we have... now we have a standard. We didn't have a standard before, but now we know it's 8%.
Babe has established a standard.
So now that we know it's 8%, we can figure out,
I don't know how you come up with a random number like 8. I would have thought it would have been like, 10.
No, it's 8.
It's definitely 8.
Yeah, it's the sales tax in Ontario, I guess. I don't know.
Or it's the capacity of a major...
major 1911.
Major standard or major classic gun,
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's probably what it is, because that is, if you get shot with one of those, you're going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Look at the logic, all falling into pieces. No, wait, falling to pieces, I think.
Yeah. So after the match, I ordered some parts for the gun. It's the gun is now, quote unquote finished. I'm not changing out the trigger group, as I said before. So ambidextrous safeties arrived, and I fitted my first 1911 safeties. Like, there are very few 1911 parts that are drop-in. There's no mil spec. It's not like a Glock. So safeties are one of the parts that have to be fitted to a 1911. So I was originally going to send this thing to Andy Shan, and he was going to do some work to it, and then I did that work, and then I was going to send it to him to fit the safeties, and then I fitted the safeties. So can't learn to do it by sending it away to somebody else. I didn't want to mess them up because they are safeties, pretty important. So I went to YouTube University and checked out a couple of different videos, and in the end, they were not complicated or difficult to fit. Once you know how the parts need to be mated together, you just simply file on where the safety stops the sear from disengaging the hammer, and it worked out really, really well. It wasn't very complicated, and as a result, I ended up over at Kingston's house working on a couple of his 1911s.
So now you're now the 1911 expert in the area.
Apparently.
All right, that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, you've always loved the 1911, right? Like, it's just a natural that you would kind of gravitate towards it.
And become experienced in working on it.
Right, yeah. No, totally makes sense.
Become the 1911 whisperer.
There you go.
The leading 1911 gunsmith in Canada. You'll always be in work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. It's not like you're a Glock gunsmith. I mean, those guys never get work.
No. You know what there is a need for in this country, though, is somebody who works on revolvers. There's like 8 or 9 guys in Canada that shoot revolver, and they can't get anybody to work on them.
I'll work on it. I can't guarantee it'll work after, but I'll work on it.
Exactly.
It's like finding a blacksmith. It's really hard these days, too.
I know a blacksmith.
Yeah, I was going to say we know one. So I ordered the parts on Monday, ordered the new magwell. I had one on there that I got from Stephen Casey.
You putting a magwell on it?
Yeah, well, it already had a magwell on it, but it was aluminum color.
But isn't it classic? It is classic division, right?
Yep. So the magwell has to be less than 35 millimeters. So this magwell.
Oh, because the troops back in World War II only put 35 millimeter magwells on theirs. That's right. I remember now.
Is
Correct.
that a classic looking magwell that you're putting in?
It actually looks better than what was on there. Yes, because it's black and everything on the gun is black. It's low profile. The only thing is that it comes out in the front, and that kind of gives it away. Same with my safeties. Lorette put on a big set of double tap sport safeties that are really large, really extended, really shiny. They're like brushed stainless, and they really stick out. What I like about my classic gun is, although it has some extended features, they're low profile because the entire gun is black. I like black. My Glocks are black. I like black guns. And so all the aftermarket parts I put on this gun are black. The safeties that I put on it, yes, they're ambidextrous, but they're low profile. My thumb fits them no problem, so I didn't feel the need for the big extended ones. So I went with STI ambidextrous safeties, not the big honking ones that stick out. The grips are black, so it doesn't look flashly. The mag button is black. The magwell I went with is black, low profile, and I went with the aluminum arched mainspring. When I started shooting 2011, it had my 2011 had an arched mainspring, and if you're a Glock shooter or a Tanfoglio shooter, the mainspring is the grip angle on a Tanfoglio is very similar to that of a 1911, but it has a built-in arched mainspring. So I thought, since my 2011 had an arched mainspring, I would try one on this gun, and it immediately fits my hand better. It forces your hand up into the beaver tail more easily and naturally. So I put all the things on here, but it still looks like a 1911 because nothing is blingy or flashy. There's no, anodized blue flat trigger or anything like that.
Sure,
So
but that is all allowed though, right? To have the shiny and blue.
Absolutely.
And so what's left that's actually classic in the classic division? Single stack mags. Is that basically it?
No rail dust cover. In Canada,
makes sense. You're right.
In Canada, you're actually allowed a bull barrel in your classic gun. Over in the States, in USPSA, IPSC allows, so IPSC is global, of course. So in IPSC, you're allowed a bull barrel in the classic division, and you're allowed lightning slide cuts, but you're not allowed to go through the slide. Like my limited custom has holes through the slide to lighten it and speed it.
Because again, the Allied forces would only file halfway through theirs.
Well,
And
exactly.
that's where
So they didn't want to weaken it, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
the only
when it
thing
comes to your mainspring cover there on the back, did you get one that has the little lanyard hook at the bottom, or did you go with like a QD mount for your lanyard?
where the lanyard hook should be is where the screw goes to mount the magwell, jerkface. So, that's the only thing that's Matthew pretty much in IPSC is that they do not allow full length dust covers or rail dust covers, and
Right.
USDSA at least said. If it's going to be a 1911, it's got to be it's got to have a barrel bushing.
Right.
So
It just cracks me up at how non-classic classic is.
I know. But when we had the boys on to discuss the classic division, I said if I shot classic, I would go with a 9mm and trick it out.
Yeah.
And this is completely tricked out.
Oh yeah, it just doesn't look like it's completely tricked out, and it does look nice. It's a sharp-looking gun.
Yeah. Especially now with the black magwell, everything's black.
Black. Just because it's black doesn't mean it's polymer.
Well, no, but it's at least it's black, right?
At least it's black.
So, sorry, it's satin blued.
Oh well, now la-ti-da.
Exactly. So then, my last order that came in with the magwell and the AMB safeties and whatnot, I got some extra springs. I wanted to have some spare springs and some spare pins because I don't have any spare parts, and sometimes you lose parts when you're working on a 1911. They say the parts count is high on the 1911, and it is, but, and God, strike me down for saying this, I would rather do a detail strip on a 1911 than my Tanfoglio. Like, I've never completely disassembled the Tanfoglio. I took the trigger group and the sear box out of a Shadow once, and that was no fun. Having experienced that when my Tanfoglios came into the house, I had no interest in drifting the pins out and completely disassembling this firearm at all. Like, I just go at it with a air compressor and a toothbrush. Now, Matt Lorette and Mo, Sean Hansen, who owns Freedom Ventures, says these are the only guys I've seen take a sear cage out of a Tanfoglio at a match. It takes 3 hands. I know. I sell them. And Lorette and Mo are doing it at matches, but I'm not there yet.
That's crazy.
After working on a Glock, once you know how to disassemble and reassemble a 1911, it's there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
It really, it's almost as easy as a Glock. It really, really is.
Just a couple extra parts, and as soon as you figure out where they go, it's all good.
Yeah, and then the pain is, if you're going to install parts, you have to quote unquote fit them. So,
Right.
Yeah. So speaking of fitting parts, I end up over at Chris's place because Chris's wife used to shoot a Trojan, and she shot Trojan in IPSC before there was a classic division. She shot it in standard minor. So he's decided that he wants to put his double stack 40 caliber Paras aside and shoot the classic division as well. He's always been a 1911 guy. So we've been kind of tweaking out his Trojan a little bit to meet the division requirements of classic.
That's cool.
It's keeping the magwell that's already on there. It already has ambi safeties. It already has a fiber optic front sight. He already has an extended magazine release.
It makes sense that he'd be shooting in classic since he went to school with John Moses Browning. So
he actually was there. Like, he was John Moses Browning's frosh leader. He was college year before John Moses arrived. So yeah, it's buddies, right? So he's trying to honor the tradition.
Sure.
So anyway. I was going to make a Catholic Mormon joke, but never mind.
Oh, all right, probably a good call.
Refrained myself.
Good for you.
Thanks,
look at you,
man.
growing up, becoming mature and whatnot.
Filters matter.
Yeah, filters matter.
So anyway, I dropped in a recoil spring and a firing pin spring and a mainspring. He had never changed a mainspring before in 1911, so he thought it was quite a process. So I showed him how to do that, got that done, and then he asked me to work on his Paras. He had a safety on a Para that wasn't working, and that's because it was never fitted. It was just thrown in.
Right.
So there were some issues there, needless to say. So we took the safety didn't work at all. I took it out. I showed him how to mate the pieces together, did some filing, fitted the safety, and the safety now works when the hammer's cocked. Before, what would happen was, and this is a test in Black Badge, Adriel, when your instructor shows you how to do some safety checks on a gun, this is one of the safety checks that you do. If you have a single action gun, any gun, I suppose, with the safety, you cock the hammer, you apply the safety, and you press the trigger with a lot of force. You take your finger off the trigger, disengage the safety. If the hammer falls, you, sir, have an issue. And that's what one of his 1911s was doing.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good.
No.
So we fixed that by, as I said, fitting the safety to the sear by filing it a little bit and making the angle match up so that when the safety is engaged, then your sear is pushing against a nice flat surface. They don't come with a flat surface. They come with a sharp edge, and you have to knock that edge back until it's a flat surface that matches or mates up with the flat surface of the sear. So I did that, and then that worked, but there's no half cock. And there's supposed to be a half cock on 1911s, and it was falling. He said it fires from the half cock. I'm like, dude, you don't even have a half cock. So anyway,
he's just pulling the hammer back a little ways and letting go. Hey, it fired.
Yeah,
weird.
So, and it was there was a hammer fall situation. No, the hammer fall situation would happen when you would take the safety off. Anyway, so he's got two. One's blued, one's stainless, and he was saying that the stainless one isn't feeding as well. We removed the barrels and compared the two barrels. One has a feed ramp, the other one doesn't. It's kind of like the 45 barrel. There's almost no feed ramp, especially compared to the blued one. By the time I was there for an hour and a half, by the time I was done, tweaking his guns, and then I showed him, like, I crap on para a lot, and he thinks it's a joke. So I'm like, look at this. And I took the sear and disconnector out of his para, and I'm like, you see the parts? You see these lines that look like lines as if the part came out of a mold? He's like, yeah, what's that? So that's a metal injected molded part. That's a MIM part. They're crap. They're poorly finished. They're prone to breaking. They're just not good. So you want to clean up this 1911? Order a new set of safeties, a new sear, a new disconnector, new hammer in case your hammer hooks are worn, and let's fit a new safety or a new trigger group and safety to this gun, and then you'll be off to the races. But in the meantime, just put it away.
Just sell it.
Yeah. So, well, I don't think he's going to sell it. It's kind of like it's his backup, but it's his son's. His son shot it, and he shot his own. But those MIM parts are just wearing out. The safety probably wore out, and then he bought a safety not knowing it needed to be fitted, and just threw it in, and never worked right. And so, 1911s are, they're not a beginner gun. They're not like a Glock. You don't just drop parts in. Like all Glocks are made to the same spec. There is no mil spec on 1911s. Parts need to be fitted. If you don't know what you're doing, don't try and do your own gunsmithing work. You can get away with it with 870 shotguns and Glocks, but you can't really get away with it with guns like 1911s. If you don't know what you're doing, well, you don't know what you don't know. And the more I get in 1911s, the more I'm learning that these things are not meant for newbies, for sure. So, what else? I traded my backup limited custom, my STI, my backup gun for standard division, my 40 cal. I traded it for a stock 3 extreme. I had a stock 3 before, loved it, absolutely loved it. And every year that I've been putting guns on the prize table for SummerSlam, I've been buying stock 3s because I just like to have one around to hold and maul and stuff and dry fire the heck out of before I have to give it away to somebody. And the one I had, traded to Lorette for my open gun, and he took that to the Worlds, and Lorette did such a good job on the trigger in the stock 3 that Eric Graffel, who makes the extreme line of gun parts, disassembled Lorette's gun so he could have a look at exactly how he shaped the trigger group because it was better than his own. So
that's pretty cool.
That is cool, yeah. So anyway, I traded my backup gun with one of the IPSC shooters from Quebec who comes to SummerSlam every year and is coming to our 3 gun. So I traded my backup for a limited custom or a stock 3, but a stock 3 extreme. So now I'll have the Tanfoglio stock 3 extreme, which is a production gun, and I'll have the limited custom extreme and 1911 for classic. And as Adriel said, if I need to go into open, I'll just put a mag in my front pocket.
There you go. You're all set.
Yeah. So, and then right before the show tonight, I was packing up guns and ammo for tomorrow after school. Snuffleupagus and I, who is a teacher as well, the teachers at the local high school approached him and asked for a range day. The staff,
Nice.
yeah, the staff does something about once a month. They have a staff outing, and they wanted to go to the range. So we have 15 people lined up to come shoot guns. It's going to be a pump-action shotgun, 22 pistol, 22 rifle, bringing the Garand, bringing a 44 Magnum, 357 Magnum, a 1911 and 45. You know, it's like, no, that shot a 45. You know,
Yeah.
all that bravado and stuff. And of course a Glock, right? I got to shoot a Glock. I got to shoot a 45.
And bring your VZ so they can say they shot an AK.
Oh, what a great idea.
I know. I shot an AK-47.
But it was like the Czechoslovakian one legal in Canada, I don't know. And then they shot a World War II gun named after a Canadian from Montreal.
Because they're going to get the whole history lesson every time they touch a gun.
You know it. You know it.
They are teachers after all. They need history.
They need to be taught.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's going to be like herding cats. So we're going to establish a shooting line and a waiting line. So there'll be a fault line on the ground. If you're not shooting, you're staying back here, quiet. If you're shooting, you'll be at the table with an arrow. So Pierre-Luc is going to come out and give us a hand. And
excellent. That'll be good.
Yeah, we'll have zombie targets and steel plate racks and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Sweet.
So, yep, that's what I've been up to. That didn't take hardly any time at
No,
all.
hardly any time. Only, 30 minutes?
Adriel. I missed you guys.
Oh,
But I was here last week. I didn't even have to get caught up or nothing. I'm going to do it now.
all right. So on Saturday, I shot and RO'd a 3-gun match. A buddy of mine and myself set up the shotgun stages. So we designed them and RO'd them. And it was a little bit cool and rainy, but the mosquitoes were
They were awesome.
Oh, there were so many mosquitoes. They just ate us alive. There was someone brought out like a full can of off and left it at the shotgun range.
Oh,
and
that was gone.
Oh, by the end of the day, it was gone.
Yeah.
And it had been used, and it was like people were getting eaten. They were using it. Yeah, it all went. I've never seen an off can go in one day. Usually, you pack it up with your camping gear. You might use it.
Yeah, and it's good for a season.
It's good for a season, and then it rusts or leave it somewhere or forget it or something. I've never seen one go from like brand new out of the package to like used in a day. Well, I got to.
It was one of the big ones too, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, one of the big ones. Yeah. Anyways, so that was good. It was good, safe shoot. We got 34 shooters out, which is a lot of people.
That is.
We had, I want to say 36 at the last match it was rainy and kind of garbagey out, so there's only 20 something. But the one before there was 36 people, and it's starting to get really popular.
That's awesome.
We're getting to a point now where I'm starting to look at 3-Gun Nation and seeing if we should be doing that, because that comes with its own set of rules and own set of like all sorts of other stuff that comes with it. And it looks like there's only 3 clubs in Canada that have 3-gun matches. And I don't see, 3 clubs that are, only registered with 3-Gun Nation. I don't see them doing any matches right now. So I don't know. Maybe we could like register and be one of the Canadian ones, because like they are the premier 3-gun series, I guess, in the U.S. and we don't have such a thing in Canada. Anyways,
that'd be good. I mean, that'd be that. Like you said, it'd be a good way to have a standard set of rules and kind of introduce the sport to your neck of the woods there.
Yeah, better promotion. We need more. We need more bays though. We can only run with like a shotgun bay and a rifle bay that we. Like a 100-meter rifle bay that we use we usually jam 2 stages in there. But like with 34 people, we were there from 8 till 7, and it's just too long. So we need more bays open at our range, or we need a range with more bays or something. Anyways.
What we learned was to do fewer stages with all 3 guns. That's we were there, Matthew, like the first 2 years, 6:30, 7 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Like, we're only doing 8 stages this year, and half of those stages will incorporate all 3 guns, and some of them will be short stages.
Yeah, we just need to do more short stages. I mean, we the other thing that happened was that we squatted people at random, and what ended up happening is just by chance one of the squads ended up being a lot slower than the other, and I think that contributed to the speed problems, because one squad made it through a couple of stages, and then they were just sitting around for like 2.5 hours, which is just long.
No, that's not cool.
Yeah. So I mean, it fun time. Anyways, I got 4th.
Fourth isn't bad at a 34.
Oh, I'm happy with it. The things. There's 2 things that sucked out of it. One, my buddy Sean got number 1. And he's been razzing me about it the whole time.
As he should, as any good friend would, really.
Yeah, exactly. It's a friendly rivalry thing, but I'll have to beat him at the next one. And the other thing was
Adriel.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
just want to clarify a point. It's not even a question of having short stages that speed up the match. What we found slows down a 3-gun is loading and unloading of all 3 firearms. Right? Like we'll abandon them throughout the stage.
Oh, I get you.
And when you're done shooting, the arrow takes you back to your shotgun. If you're finished, unload, show clear, and unload the shotgun. And then go to the rifle, unload and show clear the rifle. That's what's burning up all the time. It's taking over a minute to unload and clear 3 firearms, plus loading and staging, especially if you're loading a shotgun. Because loading the shotgun, you expect guys that trying to do a ghost load that
that's the worst. Yeah, we had people trying to ghost load and not familiar. Like I can ghost load my shotgun in a couple of seconds, kind of a thing. But we had guys who take like half a minute, messing around trying to ghost load. It's like, dude, you just give up, just shoot it with what you got in there right now.
I'm trying to have a shotgun rifle, or like only maybe one. Well, no, I would definitely won't do more than half of the stages with all 3, and some of the stages will be just shotgun or shotgun pistol, because it's the loading and unloading the shotgun that kills you. So if you're doing a shotgun only long course of fire with 20 rounds, that's not so bad, because there's only 1 gun to load and 1 gun to unload.
Yeah, what's killer about those is doing a dry start too, because then people come to the line with their belt all loaded up, and they all there's no slowly loading from a pouch or something like that while they're on the line. They're running from their carriers on their belt, so they're loading really quickly.
Unless you've got a match director who's like me, who has a unloaded shotgun start with all ammo in the ammo can.
Oh, I've done that. I did that 2 or 3 matches ago. That took too long though. I'm not going to do that again, because some people don't really know how to load their shotgun very fast when they're just like digging it out of a bucket or something. Yeah, but no, I mean that's good points, and I think I might try my hand at designing the rifle stage at the next match, just to make sure it's nice and quick. So there was one thing that worked really well. That was staging the shotgun and rifle at the same table, pulling out the shotgun, running some slugs on a couple of targets, then dumping the shotgun and going right to the rifle. I really liked that part because it kept it nice and quick, and it let us use all 3 guns without really adding a whole bunch of time. The other thing, so I mentioned, my buddy Sean won, so I got to beat him next time. I would have shaved 60 seconds off if I had just thrown some. I carry a dump pouch. I should have carried a couple of extra shells in there, because I ended up with 3 no shoots, 20 seconds a pop, 60 seconds on one shotgun stage, and all I needed was 3 more shells, and then my kingdom for 3 more shotgun.
You didn't have the right RO.
That's the problem.
There it is, right there.
What? They just hand me some shotgun shells?
Take them off the arrow's belt.
Let's just say this has happened before.
I could have, but I don't know.
Trevor was just standing there, and I ran out of ammo, so I was like, "Hey," he was what? And so I started taking ammo off his belt and kept going.
It's in play.
What was I to do? He had a firearm.
Yeah, he was coming right at me.
I was basically mugged. I got this little yellow brick in my hand. What am I going to do? Beat him with it?
I don't think there's anything in the rules about mugging people. So
exactly.
Yeah. So instead, I ordered another shot shell carrier.
What do you carry a dump pouch for during a 3-gun match?
To carry extra shotgun shells.
No, I use it for my staging ammo. So I'll carry my an extra pistol mag, extra rifle mag, and enough shot shells to load up my shotgun. I should have put a bunch of extra shells in there, but
well, for next time.
Yeah, I know for next time. And I mean, I ordered another shot shell carrier, so now I'm going to be able to I'm going to have tons on my belt. So I should.
You won't be able to run very fast though.
No, and it's a lot of space. I mean, you I've got a 34-inch belt size, and running all my shot shell carriers, they're all across the front. The whole front of my body's just shot shell carriers. So whatever.
Trev, remember how you filtered a little while back?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm filtering right now, buddy. Just with you in mind, by the way.
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, he was talking about his belt size and how much stuff he can carry on his belt.
Oh, yeah. So the more real estate, the more you
I was
carry.
just going to say something along those lines, but I held back.
We get where you were going with
okay,
this.
just making sure.
fat.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say it.
You don't have to. Everyone knows.
Adriel,
That picture of me with the mags in my front pocket at Sunday's Woodstock match was not what I would call flattering.
Well,
It was funny.
it was.
I don't think anybody was looking at your waist, Trevor. They're all looking at the mags in your front pocket.
Yeah.
Is that a mag in your front pocket?
He was happy to see me.
And as I said, yes.
Yes.
Oh boy. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, 3-gun match was a lot of fun, and I'm really looking at kind of amping it up for next year. So that's going to be going to other matches, other clubs, and they're really hard to find. There's not a lot of 3-gun action like happening around here. So part of what I'm going to try to do is practice on my other guns. So that's why I'm going to do my my black badge this weekend in Bonnyville, so I can start doing some other pistol practice in prep for more 3-gun, because I think 3-gun will continue to grow. I know that my pistol wasn't bad this match. You know, that FNS, even though the trigger is 3 times heavier than my MMP's Apex trigger, I still prefer it, and I'm still more accurate with it, and it holds a lot more ammo, so that helps too. But I also just last night actually I registered for SHOT Show 2017, so I'll see if I can get into that, because I've never been, and it looks like a lot of fun.
You'll get in.
Take me with you?
Do you want to go?
Do I want to go? Of course I want to go.
So like Las Vegas for me is really close, because it basically like heads south and
Just straight down. But
yeah.
I got to go along like a huge 45-degree angle to get there. I got to go down the hypotenuse.
Such a nerd. Everybody has got to go to Vegas once in their life. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been to Vegas. Did you go do a full auto shoot in Vegas?
No, I was just there for the World Archery Festival. It was just
he was there for the Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Oh, they've got a bunch of gun ranges down there that'll do full auto.
Oh, I know.
It's okay. He shot full auto archery. Like that Lars guy.
Stop it.
That was cool.
If anybody has ever seen that, what's his name, Trev?
Lars Larson.
Lars Larson. If anybody ever can see, we cannot seem to find that video anywhere. If you can find that video, you should send it to Trevor so he can watch it.
Next person sends it to me gets unfriended.
So look, if you don't really care too much about Trevor, send him.
Yep.
Send him the video.
Do you like the one I posted on top of there with the guy with the knives?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Fantastic.
Same kind of thing.
That was funny.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So Vegas has full auto shoots. I'm gonna do whatever they got at SHOT Show though. So we'll see what I can do down there. What about you, Kelly? What'd you do in?
What did you up to? What did you do up to?
You can talk real
So Saturday we had an all-lady shoot at the Napanee Gun Club. So it was awesome. We had Originally, we were going to have 40 ladies come out, but we actually had 46 ladies come out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, it was awesome. We had all kinds of different things going on. So we had a pistol house that was down the range a bit, and I was helping out on the pistol side of things. We also had trap going on. We had AR-15s. They were shooting those as well as 10-22s. Originally, the thinking was, well, let's just get them to shoot some 22s, see if they like it. No, these ladies wanted everything, right? So, great time. The majority of them didn't have their pals. The majority of them had never shot a gun before in their whole entire life, and they just loved it. Every single one of them walked away with a smile on their face. A couple of them actually have signed up for their pal courses already.
Nice.
Looking at joining the clubs and that as well. We had some younger ladies there as well. So when I'm talking younger ladies, I'm talking. Well, we actually had one that was one girl that was probably about 8 or 9. And then we had a 16-year-old, and then we had actually a guy as well, a 12-year-old guy come with his mom too. But it was really, really well done.
What'd you do last night, Timmy? I went to ladies' night with my mom.
Exactly.
What'd you do? Shoot guns.
Oh, never mind. All right, I won't beat you up then.
Better than the time my mother drugged me to a Weight Watchers meeting.
That didn't take, huh?
I swear, I wonder. Oh, you That's as bad as the time Adriel said, so I heard that some guy lost 36 pounds on the Pokemon thing. Trevor, maybe you should install that app, and walked away. Oh, man. Carry on, Kelly.
Anyways.
That really backfired. Bad. I hate you, Matthew. Just a little bit.
You love me.
Speaking of Weight Watchers.
Cut you later.
Okay. So they had lunch there. These ladies actually provided lunch for everybody. They had pies like you wouldn't believe. They had coconut cream. They had lemon meringue. They had
do a Weight Watchers meeting.
It was awesome. The other thing that was really cool about it was the fact that they brought on Vortex. Vortex came and they sponsored the event too. They thought it was really cool because what was happening is the ladies paid $35 to register for this thing. $10 of it went towards breast cancer, which was awesome. But and the other 25 was covering things like, for example, targets and ammunition. But Vortex came on board. They had shirts for them, and they had earplugs and everything. They had a whole package. These ladies walked away with a whole bunch of stuff, and they were so happy. So we were talking about it. Really, if you want your ranges and also basically gun rights to go forward and to continue to be successful like your ranges, you need to bring in the ladies, and you need to, because they'll bring the kids, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know a couple of ladies that go to the range to get away from their kids, but
true. But yeah, and that's what we were hearing too. We had over 35 volunteers as well help out. Like there was guys at each bay or each bay, but there was also ladies helping out the ladies. That way, if they were more comfortable with the lady, they could actually shoot with the lady and that as well. Each person was paired up with an instructor as well, and everything was really safe in that. So they had an amazing time. Everybody had smiles. So that's Saturday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. Tuesday, went out after work. We decided, we being the field officers for the Kingston area for the Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights, we all decided to go out with our significant others, go out to the range and have a night just shooting some guns and that. So we had a really, really good time. I got to shoot a CZ finally, a CZ-75.
What'd you think of it?
I love it.
Cool.
What did you love?
Oh, I have a recent upgrade. Sorry. What did I love about it? I love the trigger. I love the fit. I love everything about it. It fit really nicely, and it fired amazingly accurate. So nice, small grouping and that, and yeah. Can
you get to the controls and everything pretty good?
Yeah, it fits my hands perfectly.
How about the double action trigger?
Yep, loved it.
Loved it? No one loves the double action trigger.
Yep, loved it.
Why would you? Why? I don't understand. What did you love about the double action trigger? Did you love how long and heavy it was? How creepy it was? How much longer it took to shoot that first shot? Tell me exactly what you loved about it, please.
All of the above. No, I really, really did. I felt like I can focus on my sights and get it on target. So I really liked it. I also
that's good.
The SIG P226, so that's double action, right? So
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I like it. I also shot one of the ladies that was there, Kelly Kincaid. She's another field officer. She has a 6 Sauer 1911 and 9mm as well, and I fired hers, and it was pretty cool too.
A 6 Sauer 1911 in 9mm?
Yep.
Didn't know there was such a beast.
Yep, it was pretty cool. It was fun.
So on this week's show, 2 hosts shoot 9mm 1911s.
It was, I liked hers as well, but I kind of like the CZ more. So
very cool.
Makes sense, because nobody in their right mind actually likes a 1911. I'm kidding. Put down the pitchforks and torches, guys. I was kidding. Gosh, carry on.
Yeah, that's everything that I did in guns this week.
Awesome. Let's get on to upcoming events. The first one we have here is from Brian S. Valkyrie Defense has a counter ambush concepts course in Battle Creek, Michigan on October 9th, 2016. The next one we have is the Furlachi Handgun Courses. Furlachi LLC is running a handgun course in Alberta, July 15th and 16th, 2017. It says basic handgun only has 4 spots left. Is that still accurate?
That is still accurate.
Okay, and the critical handgun is full.
Still full.
Still full. The next one we have here is CAPS with Dave Young. This is a use of force 2-day class. It's $400, 70% theory, 30% practical. It's a video simulator with lasers, I think you guys were saying.
Frickin' laser beams. on the
Frickin' laser
hosts' heads.
beams.
Yeah. Yeah, we're running out of time. October 1st is the deadline, and we need a minimum of 12 people. And right now we only have letters of intent, if you will, from, there's 4 of us, Matthew?
Something
5
like
of us?
that. Yeah,
5
like
of us. So there's only 5 people that are committed to come at this point. So we just got a week to get, let's go. Chop, chop.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm going to be stuck teaching on Black Badge in the Miramichi.
Terrible.
2 weekends in a row teaching Black Badge.
Gosh, when will it end? You promoting the sport and whatnot, being helpful and such. That's terrible.
It'll end in November when I pick up my bow and switch to archery for the winter.
Yeah, there you go.
Never mind.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kelly. It's like, crap.
Kidding.
Is he talking about those twangy bows again?
Or I could talk about
Okay.
1911s.
At least they're guns.
They don't work in the winter anyways.
Just got to use light oil. Carry on.
The next one we have is Ragnarok Tactical is doing a carbine operator course at Guelph Rod and Gun Club in Guelph, Ontario on October 15th, 2016. The course fee is $176.99 and tax on top of that. Let's get on to the news. Who wants to do the Saskatchewan armed combiners and armed farmers and that kind of thing?
Sure, I got this one. That's titled, Let Us Do Our Jobs. The RCMP responds to Saskatchewan farmers taking up arms. Saskatchewan RCMP have a message for farmers who are carrying firearms during harvest following what is thought to have been the attempted robbery of a farmhand by 3 armed masked men. Let us do our job, said RCMP Sergeant Earl LeBlanc at a news conference on Wednesday, adding residents should not arm themselves for their own protection or to protect others. We don't want to see people getting hurt. His remarks follow an incident on a rural road in west central Saskatchewan that struck fear into the hearts of farmers in the area, leading some to arm themselves. Yesterday was eventful, said one, who sent CBC News a photo of the hunting rifle he now keeps in the cab of his combine. The farmer asked to remain anonymous. I guarantee you, everyone is carrying out here now. At around 11:40 a.m. Central Time on Monday, the RCMP were called about 3 men with masked faces wearing sunglasses driving a black SUV. They had approached a worker from a local farm as he drove along a rural road near Fisk, about 146 kilometers southwest of Saskatoon. The men were out of their vehicles at the time and approached the truck on foot. Each was carrying a handgun, according to the RCMP. The farmer who employs the worker said the man has years of military experience in an Eastern European war zone and responded instinctively. He sees the gun, the face masks and balaclavas, and he just accelerates and goes right at the guys in the middle of the road. The farmer said the farmhand did not try to hit the armed man, but he did not stop or slow down. The fear among farmers in the area, he told CBC, is related not just to yesterday's incident, but to what he describes as a rural crime spree in the area. There was an enormous amount of break-and-enters in the town of Rosetown and around the town of Rosetown over the weekend, he said. RCMP officers say they are looking into several farmers' reports of property theft in the area over the last few days. And it continues on from there. But yeah, that's a bit of a scary situation, I guess. You're out in the middle of farmland, driving down a rural road, and all of a sudden a black SUV stops, piles out a bunch of guys with handguns and masks on. So kudos to the farmhand who just said, nope, not today, boys, and just kept right on going. And I would hope that most of us would have the common sense to do the same thing. Don't stop for people with guns if you're in a car. Your car is now your weapon. Use it to get away. So, anyhow.
Yeah, definitely. I think, a lot of people were getting a little bit bristly about the RCMP saying, well, just call us instead of arming yourselves. And,
and you know, that's what we don't want people carrying guns to protect themselves. He said, we don't want you to protect yourselves. That's our job. We're an hour away. That's reasonable.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, Saskatchewan's not very populated, and there's areas where you are out in the middle of nowhere. And,
that's right. Now that being said, it is illegal in Canada to carry a gun for self-defense. So if you have your gun with you and you have it there to defend your crops and your livestock against coyotes and other, producing scavengers, whatever, things that are going to damage your livelihood, then, that's legal, I guess. But if you're carrying it for the sole purpose of protecting yourself against two-legged intruders, I mean, you're not technically supposed to be doing that. So just watch your intent, I guess, is what I'd say to the farmers. But at the same time, I have a hard time condemning them for what they're doing.
They're actually at an advantage because farmers are kind of exempt from needing a hunting license to carry a firearm on their own property to defend their their
crops
stock.
And wildlife. Yeah,
not the wildlife, but their
livestock.
Yeah, livestock. Thank you. Yes,
yeah, I couldn't think of it either.
They can carry a firearm with less restraints to protect their livestock than somebody who doesn't have livestock, let's say.
Right.
So they're already kind of exempt from needing a hunting license to be carrying a gun.
I think that's pretty New Brunswick specific, because in Alberta there's no such requirement around having a license either. But the farmer thing, what that lets you do is have a gun unlocked and ready for use, kind of a thing. So you can have a shotgun or a .22 propped up in a corner, ready to like pop a coyote if you need to.
Right. Well, you always need a reason for why you're carrying the gun. Mm-hmm. So you either have to, and that's federal. I mean, you don't just get to drive around with a gun because you want to. You need to have a reason for why you have the gun. And so generally the get out of jail free card is your hunting license. But if you're on a farm, it's not so bad. Now, definitely here in New Brunswick, if you are in a resort of wildlife,
which is all of New Brunswick,
with a firearm, and you don't have a hunting license, you could very easily be picked up for poaching.
Yeah.
Depending, I mean, obviously, DNR officers practice discretion, and some are and some aren't. But the way to avoid it is to just always carry a hunting license. That being said, again, on your property, if you're a farmer, not an issue. The point I'm trying to get to is that guys posting their, I mean, this is kind of a tricky situation. I'm not sure what they were trying to rob these farmers of. Like, it's kind of a random place to try, and it sounds really suspicious to me. I'm not gonna lie. This sounds sketchy. And it's started a bunch of fear mongering where now all these rural Saskatchewan farmers need to arm themselves against what? Like, did the situation happen? Only these guys witnessed, or this one person witnessed it, and now everybody's overreacting by carrying guns. Should they be allowed to carry guns? Absolutely. Right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't be allowed to carry your gun. But if they're doing things that break the law, like carrying loaded guns in a vehicle, then in the end, this is only going to come back to bite us in the ass.
That's right.
So practice, some common sense and discretion.
I can't disagree with that. And, if you feel the need to carry a firearm, maybe don't post it on social media.
Well, exactly. Why are you
advertising the fact that you're carrying a gun around for self-defense?
First thing these guys did wrong, Matthew, was talk to the CBC. CBC is never going to have a pro-gun story. So as soon as CBC gets wind of Saskatchewan farmers carrying guns, they're gonna blast this to create fear-mongering and get the antis riled up.
Right. But, I mean, bear in mind that farmers aren't necessarily pro-gun gunnies, right? These are just guys who have guns because they need them for their livelihood.
Yep.
So they don't know that the CBC is rabidly anti-gun and will take any story and blow it out of proportion.
Well, and that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. Here we are.
And the picture is a pistol grip shotgun with a magazine tube extension and an SKS. Generally not what you think of when you think of a farmer carrying a gun.
Not generally.
And then it's an SKS, God help us, in a Tafco stock. But I can plainly see the rivet on his magazine.
Yep. I mean, he's definitely legal.
And the shotgun with the shells in the carrier, depending on the DNR officer, if the ammunition is connected to the firearm in any way, they'll consider that a loaded firearm. And whether you agree with that definition or that interpretation or not, you may find yourself in court debating that definition of a loaded firearm.
Yeah, I've heard that as well for side saddles or those little fabric ones that you put on the buttstock to hold cartridges and that kind of thing.
I've even seen people go so far as to say that a biathlon rifle has grooves in the rifle to hold the magazines for the 22 ammo. Mm-hmm. And if it's stored with those mags in the rifle, it's considered a loaded firearm. It's a biathlon rifle. It's 22. But anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah, you want to carry your gun, but let's use some common sense and discretion. And posting pictures of you carrying guns around your farm on social media, that's what you get.
Exactly.
Let the RCMP saying, let us do our jobs. You can't do the job because you can't be everywhere all at the same time. So when I'm on a road and there's 3 guys with guns in front of me, I'm not calling you, I'm dealing with it, and then I'll call you after. Am I supposed to sit there and wait for you? How can you even say that with a straight face? Let us do our jobs.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Trevor, you want to take the next story here from Jason?
Sure. Let me see here. Let me just click on the old link. From Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe's out in the nude with a shotgun shooting at drones, or
That's the one.
shotgun at drones.
Yeah, and thanks for bringing us that story. All right, let's move on to the next. That's basically that.
Yeah,
happened right now. No, come
all right. Leave me a drone. Early this morning, deep in the middle of some sort of strange gardening dream, I was awakened by the sound of a giant bumblebee hovering a few inches from my ear. As I slowly entered a more conscious state, I realized the sound was not coming from a bee in a dream, nor, for that matter, a bee in reality. It was coming from something much larger just outside my bedroom window. Dressed in my favorite pair of non-existent pajamas, I leapt from my bed and pulled the drapes aside to see what was the matter. I arose with such a clatter. Anybody else catch that?
Christmas.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. There, not 3 feet in front of me, was a camera dangling from the underside of a drone. Red light was on, camera was rolling, blah, blah, blah. So apparently Mike Rowe grabbed a shotgun and went out to confront this drone. True or false? What do you think? Mike Rowe looking for publicity? Did anybody else see this happen?
Well, he took a picture.
He took a picture of it. Yeah.
He took a picture of the drone?
Yep.
Did he get a picture of himself with a shotgun and the drone all at the same time?
No, didn't get that.
There you
Selfie?
go. Yeah.
But regardless,
Seconds later, I pulled my Mossberg 12 gauge from under my bed and grabbed the cell phone from beside the table. In no time, I was out on the deck downstairs, about 15 feet below the electronic peeping Tom. So, anybody
Had to jump on it and everything.
So, did anybody report Mike to have him investigated for safe storage to make sure there was a trigger lock on that?
He's in San Francisco.
He's in the U.S.
Oh, well, then he's laughing. He's a Canadian, though, isn't he?
I don't know if he's actually Canadian or not.
Oh, all right. So
Yeah, I did say that earlier, but you know what, Trev? I think you might. I don't know if he is actually now. Now that you say that, maybe he's not.
Okay.
Whatever. My bad.
Whatever.
Whatever.
It's quite a good
Good
story.
taste in shotguns.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So he didn't shoot it down.
He didn't shoot it down, and
He did
it's
not.
probably a good thing. I mean, like he says, the last thing that he needed was to have that negative publicity of him shooting down a drone.
However,
I think he was probably pretty justified. That drone was definitely in his airspace.
no threat. You can't discharge a firearm in a residential area because of a drone, but what you can do.
Okay, maybe he
What
wasn't
you can
legally
do-
he wasn't legally justified, but he was morally justified. The camera was on looking through his window.
What
so
you can do is open up with a paintball gun.
True.
Or a bow and arrow.
No, it'd be too hard, and the arrow would come down and kill somebody.
definitely. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It definitely would come down and kill somebody.
Absolutely. Like, there's no possible way it would not strike a child.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
In the face.
But the potential obviously is there.
Yeah.
But a paintball gun, you could blast the snot out of that drone. I don't think a drone would take too many hits from a 300 feet per second paintball gun.
Especially if it was marbles.
Definitely mess up the camera. Oh, it's the speedball where you shoot the rubber balls at each other. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I
Drone
like it.
defense. Speedballs and paintballs.
Fun
All right.
times.
Mike Rowe sleeps in the nude, has a Mossberg under the bed. That's what we learned here tonight, kids.
All right. Hey, we learned something.
Considerable blurring naturally, but the video did come out. So It was well written. He's a funny guy.
Blurry. Kelly, did you want to take the next one here?
Sure. So this one was actually sent to us by James. So James was talking about the tannerite. So tannerite was found after the New York City blast and is widely available in sporting goods shops. You guys know nothing about that, right?
Oh, wouldn't tannerite. I wouldn't know where to get the stuff.
It's illegal.
I'm only looking at about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, about 100 pounds of it.
Well, you know what I learned is apparently you can blow up tannerite with a cell phone.
Yeah, no, you
Well,
can't.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. Here's what they probably did. Half of tannerite, the majority of tannerite is actually ammonium nitrate.
Right.
And that's the stuff that is actually very, you can do some scary stuff with that. So if somebody needed a legal source for a decent quantity of of ammonium nitrate, they could just grab a box of tannerite or any other of that binary explosive. So, it is there, but that's not what it's for. And here's the thing. People misuse objects all the time. So, the fear-mongering is kind of silly here.
And this is a CBC story, and you know what? I, for one, vote we stop publicizing CBC and giving them any traction on our show, because every CBC story we covered tonight has been crap, right? So what does CBC do? Oh my God, tannerite was used in New York. You can buy tannerite in Canada. Let's alert the masses. Let's get tannerite off our shelves because some a-hole may have used it in New York, so now Canadians aren't allowed to have it.
Yeah.
That's all CBC is doing here.
Yep, basically.
Something happens in the U.S., oh my God, we got to make sure we make it illegal in Canada tomorrow. Screw CBC.
All right. I have a question, though. Ammonium nitrate, is it also available, can you not get that in fertilizer?
It is, yeah, it's a fertilizer.
So, the main component of it, or the main component of tannerite is something that you can get readily available.
That's right.
Yeah,
but the thing is, if you go in and buy large quantities of that, they
put you on a list?
What's that?
They put you on a list.
Oh, you definitely go on a list, yes.
Actually, you do have to have a permit to buy large quantities of it, right?
What's next? Restrictions on dynamite? I'm getting tired of this country. Freaking CBC. Can't buy dynamite now.
They said that they didn't know what detonated it as well because, a rifle needed to detonate it.
Well, exactly. So,
Well, technically, all you need is an object traveling faster than 2,000 feet per second to detonate it. So, I don't know how fast particles of a firecracker or a small stick of dynamite, that would probably do it.
Or if you pull real hard on your bow.
Really hard.
Yeah. Get that speed up there.
But yeah,
Larson could do that.
We'll have to ask him to do that on
No,
video.
we won't.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
All right, why don't we jump into our main topic here? For our main topic, we're going to be talking to two Black Badge IPSC instructors. And I'd like to welcome to the show Matthew and Trevor from, was it Furlachi Limited?
That's right, Furlachi. And thanks for having us on. It's been a while since we've been here, but we listen every week, and we really enjoy the show. So, it really is an honor to be on with you guys tonight.
It truly is.
Do you really listen every week, though?
Never. The only time I listen is when I'm on right now.
Not only do I listen every week, if any of the other shows that come out that I listen to suck that week, I listen to us again.
Nice.
That's actually the truth.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Enjoy a fine bourbon while you listen to yourself.
There's no such thing as a fine bourbon. Bourbon is juice baggery. Scotch is where it's at. Anyway, off the rails.
All right, just like that.
Right off the rails. Okay, our topic for today, the main topic is preparing for your Black Badge. And I selfishly put this topic out there because I'm going for my Black Badge this weekend. I'm going to be heading out there with my buddy and his wife. They're also taking their Black Badge. And I wanted something to listen to on the way out. It's a 2.5 hour drive. And I wanted to selfishly pick your brains on what I need to do to prepare for my Black Badge. So first off, what kind of equipment and what kind of stuff should I pack tomorrow night, I guess, or tonight, because I got to drive tomorrow?
Well, you're going to need a pistol.
You're a little late. If you're preparing tonight, most of what we're going to say tonight won't apply. A lot of what we're going to say should be done weeks in advance, sometimes months in advance if you have enough notice and need to get certain things. But as
So
Matthew said,
while this
yes,
may
a
not
pistol.
help you, this will help others.
Yeah, others are going to learn from your
Oh.
poor planning and mistakes.
Yeah, definitely.
So Matthew said pistol, and yes, but not only do you need a pistol, well, it could be a revolver. It could be a revolver, but like I said, there's about 9 guys in Canada, so we're going to assume that you're shooting a pistol. Something modern, something striker fired would be nice. Minimum 9mm. So you need a minimum of a 9mm pistol.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Okay.
Good to go on that part. Yep. One of those.
So you need a holster that covers the trigger guard. I would recommend a minimum of 4 magazines and 4 mag pouches. I carry 5 magazines, but 4 mag pouches. I carry one in my pocket. That's the one that goes in the gun before I start. That way my mag pouches are full. But if you have more mags, you can bring them, and that will, you won't have to reload your mags as many times, because you're going to be reloading your mags tomorrow all day. Not tomorrow, whenever it is, on the weekend. And also, if you have a mag loader, like a Maglula, Uplula, whatever thingamajig, bring that, and everybody's going to pay you money to use it by the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, so let's start with your classroom component. Your first thing, you're on your way to take the classroom component tomorrow, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Right. So depending on how detailed, a black badge is a minimum 16-hour course. So is it 8 hours in the classroom and 8 hours on the range? Is it 6 in the classroom, 10 hours on the range? It has finally been...
It's 1 in 15, I think.
But it's finally been established nationally. The number's been put on it because some black badges are being taught in, over longer periods of time than others. Some instructors spend more time on certain things than others. When they said 16 hours, I thought, you know what? There's not 8 hours of material in that manual. And I still stand by that. But there could easily be 6 hours of material in that manual plus the exam. If things are done properly and done in enough detail, your time in the classroom could very, very easily be 6 hours. So prepare yourself to be in a classroom for up to 6 hours. Bring with you a notebook, paper, pens, whatever you need to get through 6 hours of lecture. There will be some demonstrations in the classroom showing you certain techniques. There may even be guns on hand, depending on where your classroom portion is taking part. Don't bring your stuff to the classroom unless asked to by the instructor. Generally, the students are not asked to bring guns to the classroom. If you have questions about your equipment and how it fits and whether or not you got the right holster for your gun, that's something that you should be checking with the lead instructor before the class. We've had people show up to a black badge that Matthew and I were in. Somebody showed up with a gun in a briefcase.
Yep.
And I would have thought a lawyer would know better, but the man's an idiot, so what are you going to do? Yeah. Anyway, what else, Matthew, for the classroom should he know before he arrives?
Well, you should have your test done.
Yes.
So they send out a test. It's an open book test. The idea of the test is to prove that you have gone through the book. If we could trust people to just read the book before they came to the class, we wouldn't have to hand out the test. But the idea is to go through the book, write the test, and this really forces you to start to understand some of the really basic rules and aspects of IPSC. And when I say basic, this is not the nitty gritty. Yeah. This is the bare minimum to get you through a match. There's so much to IPSC that even I don't understand at all. So. There's no question. We're still learning all the time. Oh yeah, every match. Make sure you got your test done. And if you have any questions about those questions, jot those down and make sure you get clarification on them, because some things just don't make sense the first time around. And sometimes when you're going through the test, the answer isn't going to make sense until you understand something else.
Context, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't assume that just because you got the test done that you understand everything. You're going to learn some stuff at the course regardless of you getting that test done beforehand or not. But you do need to have that done before you get there.
And it's important to include the rule number or rule numbers that apply to the answer. Because if you don't write down the rule number, well, how do we know that you actually went and looked up the rule? Sure. One of the quickest ways to do the test, and I don't have a problem with this, is use the search function in Adobe.
Yeah, that's if you have an electronic version of the rules.
Well, if you don't,
it doesn't work nearly as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're not doing things on a tablet or a smartphone, yeah, you're probably shooting a revolver.
Or 1911.
Easy. Easy. It's not a real 1911 because it's a 9mm.
You're right.
So, the manual, be nice to read before you get there, and I'll tell you why. It'll help you with preparing questions about the sport before you arrive. And some of the manual is going to be kind of brushed over. Some parts get more attention than others. So you don't want to miss anything. It's a good idea to read the manual yourself. It's 82 pages long. One of the things that Matthew and I didn't pay a lot of attention to in the beginning when we were instructing black badge classes, that we've kind of, now that we're more comfortable with the material and our own experience as shooters and instructors, and now we're CROs, is the scoring policy. And where hit factor comes from, and calculating scores and points and stuff like that. And there's a page 78. There's a detailed instruction on how to determine hit factor and how someone wins a stage based on hit factor. And people say that the scoring system in IPSC is convoluted. It's not, though.
It really isn't.
It really isn't.
No, it's when you start comparing different shooters that it starts to get a little confusing. But when you're looking at just your raw scores, it's really easy. It's simply your time divided by your points, or points divided by your time, whatever.
Well, which is it now? Come on.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Points
But it's not. What?
Points divided by time to arrive at a hit factor.
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, it's not all that complicated. So it's just, a lot of scoring is, well, is that an alpha or is that a Charlie? Because it's right on the line. So there's that.
Alpha.
And then also, where'd Bravo go? You'll learn that too.
Yeah, why don't we have Bravo? Yeah. So, okay, next question.
What kind of skills should I practice before heading out to one of these things?
Handgun shooting. That'd really come in handy.
Yep.
It's definitely important to leave your bow at home when
Yeah.
preparing for the black badge.
Handgun shooting.
I'm bringing a shotgun, though.
The maximum distance you're going to shoot is going to be 25 meters. You're going to do that kneeling and prone. Other than that, you've got some distances will be 6 meters, some will be 12 meters.
And then 15, right?
Yes, there's
It's like 6, 12, 15. 6, 12, 10, and 15, or something like that.
Yeah, it's 6, 10, 12, 15, 25. No, there's a 7 in there, 7 meters.
Yeah. It's funny that there's a 6 and a 7, but whatever.
Yeah, because of the different drill, you move from the 12-meter line to the 6-meter line.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. Some people eliminate the 7-meter line and do everything or eliminate the 6. It depends on the instructor, but
Yeah, whatever. You're not gonna be shooting from like 100 yards. So, but that being said, you should be able to hit an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper from 25 yards offhand, like standing up.
yeah.
If you can do that in a decent amount of time, you'll be okay. But you are going to be shooting with a timer, and you are going to have to be able to get hits in a specific amount of time. So not only do you need to shoot accurately, you do need to be able to do that with some speed.
And the times have gotten more lax over the years. You're going to start off in baby steps. I mean, the very first drill that you do, there's static exercises and movement exercises. And there's 24 in total that you will do during your qualification to show that you're competent with a handgun. And the first one is simply load and unload your firearm. So the instructor demonstrates how you're supposed to load and unload, and then the students practice it. And then it's draw, shoot one shot 6 times from 10 meters with no time limit. So now we're using that as a gauge of your competency in handling and your accuracy. So that, people say that I want to take a black badge course so I can get my holster qualification. The first thing you start doing with your firearm and a black badge, after you load and unload, you're immediately drawing a loaded gun. So different instructors are going to spend a different amount of time teaching you how to draw. And that is actually demonstrated in the classroom during the night before when you're going through the manual. I forget what page it's on, but they show you how to draw your gun in the classroom. I think good instructors will then demonstrate it again on the range, and they will also have the students practice it dry a few times to make sure there are no numpties on the line that are, sweeping themselves when they draw the gun. I don't think anybody jumps right in and says, all right, load, make ready, unload, load, make ready, unload. Great. Now, load your gun, holster, draw, shoot, right? Everybody, I think, does some dry fire practice on the draw first. So anyway, moving up, the fourth thing you're going to do, Adriel, is the first one under time, and it's 3 seconds. So they're going to give you 3 seconds to draw and shoot one shot into a target 10 meters away. 3 seconds, like Matthew and I will demonstrate this, and we have such a hard time to...
I know, slowing down to 3 seconds is like insanely hard to do.
Yeah, when you've been shooting for a few years and, you can get your first shot off.
Trevor's like, okay, go, bang. Okay, now do it properly. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah. 1, 2, bang. There you go.
Yeah. Usually by about the second or third time, I can get to 2.5 to 2.8.
Yeah. It takes you a while to get there, though.
Yeah, it does.
It's funny.
But it's perfect. The grip is perfect. The presentation is perfect. The press is perfect. The hit is nice.
Yeah.
So
they will take, they'll take you from a pretty basic understanding of shooting handguns to one where you'll be competent, but it really is better if you're competent before you get there. You should really know how to shoot. It's not a handgun class.
It's an IPSC class.
It's how to shoot IPSC. It's not how to shoot handguns. Unfortunately, all too often it turns into a how to shoot handguns because people show up unprepared and they don't know how to shoot their handgun yet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You mentioned it's for IPSC. Is the black badge used for anything else, or is it just an IPSC?
It was developed by IPSC Canada for Canadians who want to shoot IPSC. It's specific to shooting IPSC in Canada. However, unfortunately, we have a lot of people across the country that sign up for black badge courses so that they can gain skills to do other things. Now, that says that there is a need for training in Canada. That's why guys like Matthew and I and Rick Woods and Andrew Vincent, we are starting to offer training classes for people because you shouldn't be in a black badge course if you have no interest or no intention of shooting IPSC. You're taking, especially in places like Ontario, where it's hard to get into a black badge, please stay out of a black badge unless you want to become a committed IPSC shooter, because you're taking a spot away from somebody else who's been waiting for months to get in and actually wants to shoot IPSC. Nova Scotia basically makes you sign a piece of paper that says, I'm not going to waste the instructor's time and then not show up again. So... yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do a little bit more IPSC just to focus on my pistol and to get more trigger time in a shorter period of time because there's just not enough pistol courses around here.
You'll also you'll gain a better understanding of action shooting sports when you participate in one, and you're going to look at your stage design in 3-gun differently. You're going to look at your match management, your squatting, everything differently. If you got a bunch of untrained action shooters doing outlaw 3-gun, it can be a shit show of a circus. It really can. If you've got guys that are trained and then have worked with trained ROs, your 3-gun matches step up in quality.
Yeah, well, I've already noticed a couple of rules that they have in the IPSC rulebook that are different than what we have in our 3-guns. So yeah, it's going to be a matter of upping those. I've already been talking to the 3-gun guys about either potentially joining 3-Gun Nation or moving to Practice Score and taking the 3-Gun Nation rule set on. So yeah, I mean it's exactly like what you were mentioning there, just going from outlaw to more of a rule set. And IPSC has a lot of rules. Like their rule book is thick.
Yeah,
it accounts for a lot of stuff in there.
It does. We like the USPSA multi-gun rules. There's fewer rules than IPSC, but USPSA and IPSC are virtually interchangeable. So that's why we gravitated towards, at my club, I can't speak for the other clubs in New Brunswick, but we run a USPSA multi-gun because it's very, very close to IPSC. All the rules for disqualification are the same, like the movement and manipulating the firearm with your finger in the guard or reloading on the move with your finger in the guard, stuff like that is all the same as IPSC. So all the ROs are already very familiar with all of that. The reason we adopted USPSA multi-gun over IPSC, 2 reasons. IPSC doesn't have multi-gun. IPSC has rifle rules, shotgun rules, and they have rules that govern the grand tournament. The grand tournament is 3 stages shotgun, 3 stages rifle, 3 stages pistol, and then you combine the scores from each of those basically each one is a match. It's a short, medium, long course fire for each firearm, and then you combine all the points to come up with an overall winner. That apparently is very convoluted and difficult to figure out if you've not gone through it before. So we use USPSA multi-gun because we can put all 3 guns in the same stage. And USPSA multi-gun has very clear rules on the definitions of staging and abandoning a firearm, when you can and cannot go downrange of a firearm that is loaded on a stage.
Interesting.
Short and sweet, but very concise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's important to make a course that's easy to administer as well as easy to shoot, because I'm noticing there's a lot of rules in IPSC, and it seems like it would be easy to get DQ'd just because like the onus is completely on the competitor to not get DQ'd, right?
Absolutely, it always is. Yeah. Unfortunately, we had one guy get DQ'd in our squad on Sunday, and he asked me a question that always makes me scratch my head as an instructor, and I've been asked more than once, so I don't fault this guy. I think it must be a problem in how the course is delivered, because it's not the first person to be DQ'd and then turn to the arrow and go, am I done for the day, or am I just done for the stage?
Yeah.
And no, you're disqualified. Like you're out of the match. And I don't think that's a question that they should be asking.
They should know that.
They should know that.
It's in there.
Yeah, but I've been asked it before, and I've seen it asked before. So, know your rules.
Well, I mean, the things that I would say is you're not allowed to help the competitor, and that means like you're not allowed to stop them from DQing themselves. So if they, one of the questions I think was in the rule book is, if the RO says range is going hot and you start loading, it's like, well, you didn't load when they're saying load and make ready kind of a thing. But
we've had that brought up actually at our AGM. Somebody, like I think it was brought up at the NEC meeting, and then the region or the section coordinators for the provinces have asked the ROs, if you're going to say that, say it after load and make ready. Because people are taking their guns out on the range is going hot, which is not a command. And if you take your gun out on the range is going hot and you get DQ'd, I don't feel bad for you.
No, I mean, you were taught that load and make ready is the command you're waiting for.
Yeah. That was what I took out of it. But it's just weird. I mean, and when I RO at 3-gun, we said load and make ready, and then range is going hot, eyes and ears kind of thing at the same time, right? So it's just
I mean, it's a courtesy. I don't even know that I say it sometimes to
I've
remind
always
the
said
squad,
it.
but
yeah, I've always said it. That's the first thing I always say is range is going hot, and the reason why I yell it loudly the way I do is because I want to see if anybody's downrange.
Yeah, you're right, Matthew. That's like,
why I do it, because
Yeah.
I've seen that video where the guy's patching and the guy's running through shooting, and it's like, what the heck?
Like,
So I yell loudly, range is going hot, and then I take a step to the right and a step to the left to make sure that there's nothing obstructing my view, and I see all of downrange to make sure nobody's there. So, that's why I do it, and that's why I'm going to continue to do it, because I would rather somebody pull their gun out when I say load and make ready than somebody get shot because they're downrange still.
Yep. No, you're right. That's so I agree. Adriel, what else you got?
Well, I mean, you guys have seen me shoot. Like, what would you say I need to work on the most before
handgun
before
shooting
I get out there? Yeah, I know that part. I've done some handgun shooting. My accuracy's better.
It really is. No, I just like teasing.
Yeah, you're definitely prepared for this.
You're ready to go.
Yeah, you were definitely prepared for this. You're the like. For you, you're going to work on refining movements, coming in and out of shooting positions, which target to engage first when coming into a position, what one to leave on to minimize the amount of movement and maximize the efficiency in your transitions, mag changes, stuff like keeping the gun up while moving from one position to the other. Those are little things you're going to work on. For other people, it's, can you get 10 shots on that piece of paper that Matthew described at that distance? And then it's, are you safe? You don't know what you don't know. And do you have bad habits? Are you self-taught? Are you reloading your gun while looking at your feet? Are you pointing the gun at your feet while you're reloading or loading the gun? Do you have bad habits that need to be addressed? If you're serious about it, you will spend some time with an instructor beforehand. I was taking video of myself in February and March, and my black badge was in May, and I had all of my high-speed gear, the Sierra Speed mag pouches and holster and belt and all that stuff, and a gun for IPSC, and was sending videos to who I was told was the best shooter in the province.
Yeah, so, and you know what? It's no problem, Trev. I didn't mind critiquing you.
I appreciate it very much, and you know, I owe a lot of my success to you. I really do. About 1/4%.
About 1/4%. Well, that's being generous, in fact.
You're welcome. So yeah, you don't know what you don't know, and anyone who's self-taught or has little experience, if you can get some help beforehand so that they can look at what you're doing, because you may not know what you're doing is unsafe, God help you, right? Let's face it. The amount of handling you need to do of a firearm to get a license does not prepare you for this kind of thing. It prepares you for standing on a controlled line at a range with a range officer being supervised. But it's often not the reality. We go to the range and we shoot by ourselves a lot of times, depending on your province and your range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think I watched some. I was lucky enough this time to videotape myself and a couple of my buddies that were shooting at this 3-gun match. And one of the things I noticed was I'm shooting and waiting to see and confirm the hit before moving to the next position. And I think this, like at this course, what I'd like to do is shoot and move and shoot and move. And if I have to go back, so be it. I'll go back and shoot again. But it was painful watching my video replay because there was so much time I was leaving by not transitioning immediately when I was finished my shot and transitioning to the next target.
So you're not confident enough yet in your shot calling ability. You've got to know where your sight was when you press the trigger, and that will come with practice. Mm-hmm. And then you'll get to the point where I and Matthew are now, where we do a lot of point shooting. There was some times in Woodstock where I didn't even see the gun. I was looking at the target and watching the holes appear in the target, and then transitioning.
Well, those were pretty awkward shooting positions too, though. So
no, this was some of the close stuff.
Oh, okay.
Not the one where we went around the wall. That was a little silly. So, Adriel, I've got a letter that I send out to the shooters to remind them, that what they need to bring to the range. We always tell people, okay, yes, obviously, bring a clean, lubricated firearm. Bring enough magazines for the course. Bring enough ammunition for the course. And I ask the competitors, the students ahead of time, do you reload for this firearm? I don't assume they have years of reloading experience. I might want to check out their ammunition ahead of time. And if that ammunition looks sketchy and dangerous, or, potentially dangerous, like if I'm teaching a noob that I've never seen before and he gets this one squib, that's it. Your ammo's out. You either find some factory ammo or ammo from somebody I know we can trust, or I'm not letting you continue, because you're not blowing up a gun in my course with a squib load or a double charge. So make sure that you've got good quality ammunition, either remanufactured ammo or brand new factory ammo. Be prepared for all kinds of weather. This is Canada. It could be 5 degrees in the morning and 25 in the afternoon. So you might need both layers of clothing and sunscreen. Bring any meds with you that you may need if you're a diabetic or something. Everybody needs to bring lots of food, lots of water, rain gear, because we're just going to keep going. So get to the range prepared to be there all day. Bring a cleaning kit, spare parts if you have any. I'd rather see you bring more stuff that you don't need than need stuff that you didn't bring.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to a couple of other matches, so I've got my kind of range kit all ready to roll. So I'll add in some food and what's it going to be like this weekend? All right, 15 to 20, 18, somewhere around there. That's okay.
I mean, we even had to tell people, make sure you bring pants that have belt loops. Somebody shows up. Yeah,
we've had people come up in sweatpants before.
Yeah,
it's how are you going to put your belt on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, proper footwear is important.
No open-toed shoes, definitely.
No. And no low-cut shirts, Adriel.
Yep.
You don't want that hot brass going down there.
Wear my V-neck.
Otherwise, Trevor goes down your cleavage to get it.
I'm just trying to save you.
Yeah.
And cop a feel.
Well, I mean, that if it happens, whatever.
Right. As a byproduct of me trying to save you from getting burned on your
As a concerned RO, though, I mean, it's expected.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I'm asking all these questions. Kelly, have you done your IPSC black badge?
No. This is Ontario, remember? Yeah, no, I haven't yet.
She had to sign up at birth to get in.
Exactly.
Well, like this one, I signed up for it 4 weeks ago, something like that. And there's still spots open for it. So just fly down here and take it here.
Problem is, Ontario doesn't cooperate well with other provinces.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. If you do have your black badge in other provinces, you can move through the country and participate in courses.
Yeah, it's funny. You're allowed to. If my black badge was taught to me in Nova Scotia, and I'm from Nova Scotia, and I moved to BC, I'm allowed to shoot there. I don't have to take it again.
Right.
But some provinces absolutely require that you take your black badge from them.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have it, you can go anywhere, but you can't take it anywhere. Does that make sense to anyone?
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense to someone.
No.
No.
to someone, not this one.
No.
But,
No. At the charity shoot, we had a squad that was going to be shooting at a match that was at Frontenac. And they were allowing people who had black badges, but if you were American, you didn't need your black badge. You just needed to have been part of, US?
You needed to be a USPSA member.
Right. So Canada's the only one that actually has black badge.
That is correct. The only country in the world that requires you to have a black badge course before you can participate in IPSC.
Right. So one of the recommendations is that you guys have is go to a handgun fundamental course before going to one, right?
No, not necessarily an actual course. Find out.
Unless it's our course, in which case, yes.
Then it's a requirement, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No, if you're going to take... So let's say you join the Rescue Gun Club, and you're going to take your black badge at the Rescue Gun Club. Find out who the black badge instructors are in that club, and see if you can get some time with them on the range before the class.
Right. And the drills, print them off beforehand, run through them. Helpful, obviously.
It would be, but I don't know if it's necessary. I mean, if you're eager, go nuts. I mean, the extra shooting is not going to hurt you as long as you make sure you're not teaching yourself anything wrong. But I would probably just go out and practice with just a simple 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Just stick that up and go different distances and just see how fast you can get all your hits on it. That's going to prepare you, as much as you need to be prepared, if not more than most people, in my opinion.
Yeah. But you mentioned a couple of different shooting positions there, Trevor. You mentioned kneeling and prone?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I've shot my pistol prone yet. Interesting. See where that goes. I always find, when you try something new, sometimes it works just without thinking about it, and sometimes it just mentally incapacitates you, and you just can't get your hits on target no matter how hard you try. So I hope prone's not one of those ones for me.
Yeah, you get a couple tries at it. Don't worry, you'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys had mentioned there's a classroom portion of this. What else can I expect when I kind of hit this up?
In the classroom?
Yeah, there's going to be a classroom portion where I assume we're going to be like reading the manual together or something.
There's the hope if it's done well, there'll be some videos, there'll be some discussion of the rules, there'll be they'll go through the manual briefly through the important bits of it.
There definitely should be discussion because adults learn best by sharing ideas with each other. The Black Badge program is actually, rooted in good pedagogy. It explains it to you, it demonstrates it to you, and then allows you to do it under the supervision of an instructor, which is how any concept should be taught. It's the old Chinese proverb, tell me and I will forget, show me and I'll remember, let me do and I will learn. And that's how a black badge is supposed to be taught. And it's right there on like page 2 after the safety rules. You will be have the concepts explained to you. You will have them demonstrated for you, and then you'll be allowed to perform them under close supervision of an instructor. So, but Friday night in the classroom, there should be a lot of discussion among the group. The instructor should be a facilitator. You guys were supposed to have looked at your material ahead of time. And so he should kind of lead you through discussions and share some common experiences about what you've read. And you guys should kind of learn from each other as much as the instructor.
Cool. And then for the practical point of it?
But he'll probably just read to you. The practical component is it's kind of like what you experienced with Matthew and I. Instructor's going to get you guys on the line and check your gear and have you shooting drills and have you shooting them under the clock.
Easy.
Matthew will, of course, make fun of me, and I'll make fun of him, and we'll both make fun of you, and
Yeah,
Right,
if you
Matt?
come to one of our black badge courses, you're going to be entertained at the same time as learn stuff. We don't guarantee that you'll get that same experience elsewhere.
Your mileage may vary.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, we'll see how Tony from Peace River does here in Alberta.
But essentially, it will be the static movement should take you until about lunch, depending on whether or not there are reshoots and how the reshoots are handled. So reshoots are, let's say, okay, you've got 10 people in the class. The timer is set to go off. Beep, draw, shoot one shot. Okay? So at 3 seconds, when everyone's done, we look at the timer, and if it took more than 3 seconds, well, that means somebody is too slow. So we'll have everybody do it a couple of times, but after a while, we'll narrow it down to the person who's slow, and we'll either have them continue to reshoot it, or we'll check it off and have them come back later, because the class has to move forward. Unless we have a safety concern or some major concern, we'll just simply mark it on their sheet and come back to it later. Well, our experience has been that once you get all the static shooting done, there's been a lot of trigger time, and then we go to lunch. We come back in the afternoon. We do the movement drills. So now you're going to do your turns, your 90-degree turn, your 180 turn. So it's turn, draw, and you've got 3 targets. So you shoot 2 in one target, 2 in the next target, 2 in the next target, and then you perform a reload and do it again. It's basically a mosaic. It's what is it, Matthew? El Presidente. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So you've got 3 targets, 10 meters, 2, 2, 2, reload, 2, 2, 2. So now we've put multiple targets into the equation. We've put turning into the equation, and we've put reloading into the equation. So we've taken, those are all things that you did static in the morning, and now we're incorporating them into movement. You've drawn, you've shot, you've drawn and you've shot 2 shots, you've drawn and you've shot 2 shots at 2 targets. Now we've added movement. We're simply turning. And then we start moving forward, and then we start moving backwards, and then laterally and stuff like that. So when all that's done, Adriel, anyone who wasn't making their time in the morning has gotten more comfortable with the gun, and they usually always get their reshoots in the afternoon. I've only ever had one person not get through the qualifiers on Saturday. They just weren't getting their hits at almost any distance. They were flinching so bad they were putting rounds into the dirt from 10 meters. Mm-hmm. So we just cut them loose.
Yeah.
I've seen that. The 10 meters, not the cutting loose part, but
right.
So
yeah, you see it sometimes on the range. Okay, cool. Any last thoughts on prepping for the black badge?
You can do it.
You can do it.
Dry fire practice is always great. If you've got time ahead of time, do some dry fire practice. You can videotape your dry fire practice and have it analyzed.
Send it to Trevor, though, not me.
Practice your mag changes, practice your draws, and then really that's all I was doing was practicing mag changes, practicing my draws, and tracking the front sight and pressing the trigger and making sure that I was seeing the front sight every time I pressed the trigger. Which is a huge.
Watch your front sight.
Yeah, if you don't see the front sight during dry fire practice, don't press the trigger. You're just wasting your time.
That's it.
You're turning noise into wasted time.
You're turning time into clicks.
Yes.
Wastefully.
And money into noise, and
No, there's no money in dry fire.
No money in dry fire.
No. Unless you get paid a lot sitting at home doing nothing.
very slowly wearing out the striker on that thing.
That's true. So it's actually negative money. So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, I just wanted to thank you guys again for coming on, and hope we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us. We'll, hopefully we'll be able to come back sometime and talk to you more about this, maybe a bit more in depth or something.
Awesome.
I probably won't be back. But that's a little awkward.
Hey, I got an idea.
What's that?
Why don't you guys stick around for the rest of the show as well?
Awesome.
Oh, I was hoping
I
you
got
wouldn't
stuff
say
to do.
that. I was going to trash talk them after they went. Okay, I guess we'll keep them on.
Guess you'll just have to trash talk us now.
No, not me. I'm
Did he actually hang up?
Nah, I'm just
He
kidding.
muted.
I just muted my mic.
Okay, let's get on to some listener feedback. I'll take this
yes.
first one. This one's from Spencer. Trevor, get the PPQ M2. I have it in 45 ACP and love it. It's not quite as ergonomic as the FNS, but the grip is just as good as the VPN, even without the side panels. The trigger is better than the FNS, better than the VP9. Probably one of the best polymer gun triggers I've ever shot. It's also stunningly accurate and lands pretty low on the flipperosity scale. Hopefully you will spend my Patreon pledge of $7.62 wisely and not just blow it on booze.
Oops,
Spencer in Smyrna.
We promise nothing, Spencer.
And also, is this really from Spencer? Because
Yes.
I've never seen him send 3 sentences before. It's always like 3 pages.
He did actually say just a quick note in the subject line.
Oh, well, that's still, he's done that before too. Just a quick note, guys. Did I tell you about the history of the... Oh, my.
I don't ever want him to change. He's
awesome.
with us. Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
with us forever.
I just like giving him a hard time because
course.
he's far away and I'm safe. So
Didn't he give us the flukes?
Yes.
Quite
Yes.
possibly, yeah.
Here's some flukes for you. Yeah.
We got some flukes.
But thank you for the 76 by
76 too.
76 too.
76.2, yeah. Yeah, I wish it was 76.2. That'd be awesome. No, that's awesome. And somebody actually upgraded their Patreon recently from 556 to 762.
I remember somebody went
It's a little
from
bit lower
2 to
down.
3.3.
Yeah.
2 to 2.23. Yeah.
Yeah.
But somebody did 3.3 too, right?
Yes, we had a 303 last week, yeah.
Yeah, we like the calibers.
Yeah. I thought Kevin changed his recently.
Wonder if
Yep,
someone going to send a
556.
50
There we
Beowulf
go.
sometime.
Yeah. No, that could be 50 cents. I mean,
No, I want it the other way.
yeah, I know. So Spencer, I'm definitely going to get the PPQ, but I'm going to get it in 5-inch. I've got the 5-inch FN. I want the 5-inch PPQ, and I wouldn't mind an M&P Pro and a Glock 34 while I'm at it. This will happen in time eventually, probably.
What do you do with all of them? They all do the same thing.
It's called a collection.
Yeah.
Do you have like just
But
one?
they're like working guns. They're like beat them up and get them out there and
Oh,
blast
yeah.
with them.
Well,
and-
it's like the redneckery of guns. You know how rednecks have like their old cars all through their yard.
it would
They
be like
cut the
having an
grass and they-
F-150
Yeah.
and a Chevy.
Yeah.
And,
Or have an F-150,
That's-
but it's kind of the same idea. I've got
Yeah.
the Dodge, I've got the Ford, I got the Chev. Yeah, no, I mean, do I need? I don't know. What do you want from me? I don't understand. Why do I got to justify?
Just an
this to you?
answer. Just an answer.
Well, my answer is shut your face hole.
All right. Well, hey, there you go. We
That's
got
an answer.
All right. Thank
No,
you.
I got two. I got.
By
two
the way,
FNs.
we don't want you to continue with us for the rest of the show. If you want to just,
Oh, we can move on.
yeah.
All right, 5-inch striker fired pistols, man. It's my new thing.
there we go.
That's
I only
interesting.
have 2, and I need more. I've never owned an M&P Pro or a Glock 34.
No,
Oh,
neither
that's
have I.
surprising. You've
You know
never
what the
owned a Glock
saying?
30?
You know the
Okay.
saying, "Beware of the man with one gun because he knows how to use it."
Uh huh.
It's not Trevor.
It's not Trevor. Trevor knows how to use all his guns.
That's true, though. It's true.
2 FNs, 2 10-foglio's, 2 Glocks. So that means if I get a Walther, I got to get the
You got to get 2 of them.
I got to get the carry size and the 5-inch.
Yep, that's a rule.
Well, we found out that the SIG P320 in 40 caliber, that mag will hold 12 rounds of 9mm. We know this now.
All right,
Awesome.
cool.
Not enough for me, but if you'd like to send the show an email and tell me to shut my face, you can send that to slamfireradio@gmail.com. iTunes reviews.
Or just be a host.
Or just
Yeah,
be honest.
then you can just tell him then.
Yeah, anytime you want to.
Yeah.
Stacy checked. There were none as of 3:40 this afternoon.
No iTunes reviews.
No iTunes.
Wah.
Yep.
Right? No iTunes reviews. Well, if you want to leave us one of those, leave it on iTunes. That's kind of the platform of choice these days for leaving reviews. There's a star rating in there, and the correct one to choose is 5. And you can leave a 5-star rating for us. We'll probably read your review on air. So far, we've got 140 5-star reviews, 108 from Canada, 28 from the U.S., 1 from Australia, 1 from the U.K., 1 from Lithuania, and 1 from Belgium.
Very cool.
Chocolate.
Shoutouts.
I have one to James Bork for coming to visit my wife and I last night. We spent the night in Moncton last night. Almost ended up at a
Jail?
Well, yeah. Okay. Oh God. Anyway, it was bad. It was so bad. The restaurant was bad. The hotel was worse. Like, it was the kind of hotel I really fully expected to find a dead hooker in the tub. I'm a little disappointed. because I believe, you know,
'Cause you
like,
didn't.
because it should, everything else was in place. The dead hooker should have been there, but wasn't. So I was a little let down. There were some harsh words. Anyway, yeah, we got ripped off. We had to pay for the hotel anyway. And like, she wanted to charge us for the room ahead of time, and I'm like, there's the first warning sign. And I called her on. I'm like, you want us to pay for the room now? What if we don't like the room? Oh, you'll like the room. It's nice. 10 minutes later, I walked to the front desk. I'm like, here are your keys. We're out. See you later. Place is a dive. There's a cockroach hanging from dental floss in the bathroom.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but anyway,
Itself.
James came.
Even it was ashamed of where it was at living.
Exactly. Anyway, James came to visit us when we were having dinner, so that was cool. So he comes in, he sits at the table, and I'm like, are you going to get something or whatever? Are you just going to sit there and hang out? Yeah, maybe I'll order a drink. This is funny. The waitress comes over, goes, yeah, I'll have a water. It was awesome. I don't blame him. It's the only thing that was fit to consume in that place. And Gallon was going to come visit me, and Gallon has an awesome story. I won't share it, but there's a new story involving story time with Gallon, and it's work related, and it was so funny. But he was going to come visit us, but after the whole hotel fiasco, I told Gallon to just maybe not come. We'll see him next time. And final shout out goes to Matt Lorette for shooting his first moose. Him and his father went moose hunting, and he shot a nice cow moose with a 30-06 from about 150 yards away.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool.
That's it for me.
I'm back.
Yay! We didn't realize you left.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not true. I did realize you left. Anyway, do you have any shout-outs?
I do. I have a couple. I want to say hello to Christopher McLaughlin. He's one of the field officers for Halifax, I think he is. Anyways, I met him on the weekend at the ladies' shoot, and he's also a listener, by the way. He came up and said, hey, you're Kelly. And I said,
And you're like, I know.
yeah. And then I remembered I was wearing my Slamfire shirt. Anyways. So, yeah, just wanted to say hey to him, and, yeah, I hope you had a good trip back to Nova Scotia.
Awesome.
And the other shout-out I have is for Brian and Ken from Modern Rifleman Radio. You guys really, really need to get a show up. Kind of miss listening to it. Just saying.
It has been a long time.
It has been.
Speaking of a long time, this show's been going on forever. It's
Forever.
like we're at 2 hours already.
All right, let's put on the afterburners here. Our Patreon supporters, we have 2 new supporters this week. We have Miss Stacy, who's supporting us for 7.62, and Spencer
Awesome.
C. thought the same thing, 7.62.
Sweet.
You guys rock.
They're-
Thank you
The
very much.
Americans.
They are added to our current
Oh, is that
Patreon supporters.
762 Canadian or 762 American? Because that's like $28 Canadian.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
I'll look later. They're added to our current Patreon supporters: Jonathan S., Tyler A., Richard D., Rob B., Thomas S., Chad G., Kevin L., who changed his contribution to 556,
Nice.
Ryan
Awesome.
B., Adrian R., Mike R., Mark P., Justin D., and
Just plain
Justin?
Justin.
Justin.
And just plain Justin. Did you get Rob B too? I don't. It just.
yes, there's
Oh, okay.
2 Rob B's in there. He had upped his contribution to 2.23.
There are 2 Rob Bs. That's awesome.
And there was a message with Rob B that he had sent in with his Patreon.
Which Rob B though? Rob B1 or Rob B2?
The Rob B that left the message.
We should just call him Robbie.
That one.
All right.
Robbie.
Robbie.
Robbie says, "G'day, guys, and good morning, Kelly. Here's another 2 thumbs up."
Funny. He's dyslexic, obviously.
Or he's from Australia and it is morning
I think
there now.
He is from
He did say
Australia.
g'day, and he is
Oh,
going to talk
g'day,
about
good morning.
wombats.
I thought he was going to make fun of the good night thing. Carry on.
So weird. Here's another 2 thumbs up, Wombat this time, for you and another dead dingoes. You know the rest. Keep up the good work, and more IPSC, please, but only production with CZ75s.
CZ. Come on, Rob. You should know better than that. You're from Australia.
And he's got a raffle mayo in there, rolling the floor, laughing my butt off.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, if you'd like to support us, just head on over to the slamfireradio.com. We've got a link to our Patreon, and we're going to be talking actually today about what to do with all these people who are patrons of ours.
I definitely think that, the levels of support are going to be tied into the amount of bonus material they achieve. And so it's like the bigger the bullet that you support us with, the more...
The bigger the hole in your soul that we're going to rip away from you.
Yeah. with bonus material. So it'd be like, if you support us at the 223 level, you get this much. If you support us at the 556 and 223, you got to get the same thing though.
Good call, Trevor.
Right?
So everybody's going to change their 556s to 223s.
Oh, wrong call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of their contribution, I'm thankful for all of the guys who
Absolutely. I mean,
and gals, because we've got a gal now too. So
yep.
Miss Stacy.
I have a feeling that's the Appleseed Princess.
It is.
All right.
I'm 92% certain of that.
Yeah.
The other one.
Yeah, all our Coke habits.
There can be only
are
one,
not cheap,
Kelly.
So, it's good to get the money in.
You can be the Canadian queen. You can be
And
the
she's the princess.
Yeah.
The American Appleseed Princess. You can be the Canadian Maple Seed Queen. Because we have a queen.
Yes.
Because we're Commonwealth, unlike
Exactly.
those ungrateful
And
separatists to our south.
and Kelly is the first female Canadian to earn a rifle person. Yeah.
We're not politically correct here, except that we just were.
Yes.
So that's what makes you the queen.
There we
There
go.
you go.
All right.
Let's wrap this thing up.
Yes, please.
If you'd like to join one of our national firearms associations, please go ahead and join the CCFR or the CSSA. It's important to support those that support us. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. That's a forum where you can check us out. We've got kind of like this thread thing in there where we post all of our shows and you can see what we're up to and comment on there. Like us on Facebook. We're at right around 1,528 likes. We've got 110 thumbs up, 20 gold stars and counting, 2 flukes, 4 manatee flippers, 2 kangaroo thumbs, 1 safe space, 1 HK logo, 2 hobbit thumbs, 5 duckbills, 2 squirrel nuts, and 2 wombat thumbs.
2 wombat thumbs and a dead dingo.
Dead dingo.
Dead dingo's appendage.
The dingo
boy.
ate my bite. Oh, right. Another dead dingo. Oh, I remember. Yeah, no, we don't count those.
The dead dingoes. No.
The dingo ate my baby reminded me of a stage that's going to be in the 3-gun match. It's going to involve a gorilla
Excellent.
and an IPSC mini target.
I like it already.
Oh, I've got a pair of sights I could send you that you could give to the winner of that stage.
Perfect.
All right.
The gorilla sights.
Nice.
Have I shown you those?
No.
Hold them up to the mic so we can all see.
Oh yeah. There, can you see them?
Well,
No, they're Harambe backup sights that you can
Nice.
put on your rifle.
Harambe backup sites. And then the name of the stage is either going to be Harambe's Revenge or Someone Save My Baby.
Oh, I like Someone Save My Baby.
It's going to be Save My Baby, and it's going to be Harambe and an IPSC mini target.
I love
Beauty.
it.
You figure out who gets shot.
Awesome. All right, let's say goodnight, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
So if you have any comments or questions for the show, please send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. Now go grab a gun and shoot something.
When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.
I'm going to start recording too. First off, this is my mic here, right?
Yes, that sounds like a mic to me.
Yeah, don't do that during the show, and you'll be fine.
No, dude, is this that thing on? Is that the
So
one?
I'm using a different headset, and it's got its own microphone. I want to make sure that this is not my microphone.
No, I don't hear anything right now.
Good. Okay. You're recording, right?
I am.
Hello and welcome to Slamfire
Whoa.
Radio.
Whoa, yeah,
This
no,
was a little bit hot. A little bit hot.
Yeah. Ooh.
Hot mic. We got a hot mic.
Ooh, you're
Calm
excited,
down,
buddy.
sunshine.
You're excited. Let's dial her back 6 notches.
Yeah. we don't
173,
go to
guys. Come on, let's get pumped up.
You're right. Let's maybe we're just not pumped up enough. That's
You're
probably
gonna-
the problem.
You know what's going to happen is in post audio, you're going to be like spiking all over the place again. Dial it back. Turn your mic
Okay.
down. Something.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
No, you're too quiet.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
All right.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it
now
fine?
it is. Yeah, well, be excited again.
Well, it's because he was excited and he had that big breath of,
Yeah, that's all it was.
Hello.
Because you've been sounding good up until then.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. All right.
Just a little bit more.
You keep using that word. I'm not sure you know what it means.
What word?
Perfect.
Who?
You.
No. That's perfect. You're perfect, Trevor.
See?
Am I using it right?
Proof positive.
This show is perfect. I'm having a perfectly good time.
Oh, man.
All right, let's get this thing rolling.
Perfect.
Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio.
That was much better, wasn't it? Better, guys?
It was perfect.
That one was perfect. All right, I'll be good.
Yeah, sure you will. Bullcrap.